What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about the different types of Lorcana promo cards and which ones you should be picking up for your collection. So let's get into it. So let's first talk about the Disney D23 promo cards. Now, these were given out at the D23 Expo. They were the first ever cards released in the game of Lorcana. They were sort of introducing the game of Lorcana at this expo, and it consists of a sealed packet that has 6 promo cards in there, and then also you got an additional card, which was the Mickey BLT D23 Expo card. That came as sort of an add-on to the original set that you would get at the expo. So the biggest pro for these cards is that, of course, these are the first cards ever, right? So you're essentially buying a piece of history when you pick up these cards. Now, a lot of times we look at Lorcana cards and we'll say to ourselves, yeah, well, how do we really know if these cards are first edition or things like that? They really don't have that printing on their cards. You see common all the way to the enchanted logo, and then you also see, which card number is in the set. So it might say something like 16 out of 204, something like that, but really no designation on if it's first edition, first print run, second print run, anything like that. However, with the D23 Expo promos, you do see a first edition stamp on them, and that makes these extremely coveted in the collecting world of Disney Lorcana. So because of the scarcity and the first edition stamp, these are going to be some of the most highly coveted cards for the long term in Lorcana. The big downside with these cards, though, is that because they're so coveted and they're so scarce, they're obviously extremely expensive. Looking at recent sales that I've seen, to be able to put this entire set together compared to what they cost at the expo when you first got them, it's a stratospheric gap. So at the expo, I believe that these sold for $49.95. You could go to the stand and pick them up and get the sealed pack of them. Now, kind of rough math putting them all together, to get this entire set collected, even raw form, it's going to cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $6,000 to complete this set with all 7 cards. And that also brings about another downside, which is, well, maybe I'll wait and collect these long term. Maybe they'll go down in price and there'll be a buying opportunity. I don't really see that happening, just because these are the first cards that Lorcana ever made. And really, when you have something that you know is valuable, the market is very smart in understanding that these are never going to be more valuable than what they already are. So we're never going to have the price drop, as opposed to maybe some other cards in normal standard sets, standard releases that might go down in value. When you have something that you know is valuable, it typically tends to sort of hover at the price that it's at, or it will continuously go up. So if you do want to be able to pick these cards up, there's going to be no time like the present. Would I be picking these up right now for my collection? Whenever I get into the thought process of very expensive cards and picking them up for my collection, I always tend to look at the options that you have. So let's, for example, take Mickey BLT, the D23 Expo promo card. I believe one just sold on TCG Player, or one is currently listed on TCG Player for about $1,000. So you could have the option of picking that card up and adding it to your collection. But let's say that you only have $1,000 to spend. What are the other options that you might have of adding cards to your collection instead of that card? You could maybe add, say, the Enchanted Elsa, which right now is going for about $450, $500. You could add Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. That's about a $200 card. Alice Growing Girl, $150, $200 card. I mean, putting all of those cards together and adding up and building out your Enchanted collection might be a better call for the current term, long term, than picking up this one individual card. And that's from both an investment and a nostalgia perspective. From an investment perspective, of course, it's always smart to diversify. And instead of having one very expensive card that could grow long term, it's also nice to have multiple different investments that could grow long term. And of course, from a nostalgia perspective, you just have to ask yourself, would you rather have one card in your collection that you love to look at and pull out of your closet, your drawer, your binder, wherever you keep your cards, and be able to look at it and smile? Or would you rather pull 3, 4, 5, 6 cards out of that same spot and be able to look at them? So obviously, if you have the money to pick it up, go for it. If you can complete that set, more power to you, and you really should, because you are going to be able to have something in your collection that long term is going to be something that will grow exponentially in value over the long run. However, if you're debating it, I would say just maybe think about building out other parts of your collection first, and maybe if the opportunity presents itself long term to be able to pick up this card or pick up the D23 Expos, go for it. But again, long term, these are probably going to be some of the most coveted cards in the history of Lorcana, so obviously we have to mention those first. All right, so the next set of promos that I want to talk about, I like to call them the Musketeer promos. You have Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Donald Duck. Now, these are 3 different individual card promos that were given out at 3 different individual events. The Mickey Mouse was given out at Gen Con, the Goofy was given out at Gamescom, and the Donald Duck was given out at a European convention. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm going to put it right here. That's how you spell it, and I don't want to do a disservice to the convention by pronouncing it wrong, but that's where he picked up the Donald Duck. One of the huge pros with this set of promos, or these sets of promos, is it's almost like a sort of a side quest. When we think about collecting promotional cards within a TCG, essentially it's a hobby within a hobby, right? So you have your normal sets that come out, like First Chapter, Rise of the Floodborn, Into the Inklands, and you of course pick up the necessary collectible cards or complete the entire set in those specific sets that come out. In this case, those sets come out quarterly. But with the promotional cards, it's almost sort of, you don't know when they're coming, you don't know what the promo is going to be. You just know that when you see it, you want it. You want to be able to pick that up, put it in your binder, or put it in your collection. And to be able to bring 3 similar style cards together, to bring 3 Musketeer cards together, obviously Mickey, Goofy, and Donald, a lot of history there with Disney, growing up, there's nostalgia there. I doubt there'll be any type of like Musketeer deck building in the future or anything like that, but if there is, that's kind of a cool thing as well. Just a really well thought out idea from Ravensburger on this side, being able to bring those cards together. So I really like the idea of that. Really don't see anything on the con side. I think right now these cards are going from somewhere in the realm of $70 to $90. I could be off a little bit one way or another on that, but they're reasonable in price. Obviously, everyone has different ways of going about collecting, different budgets, things like that. But right now, they're a realistic price, especially compared to the D23 promos. Whereas I believe Elsa for the D23 promos just set a record for going for like $8,000 or something like that on eBay. So large discrepancy there. But what I would say for these promos is, if there was one set of promos that I was looking to pick up and add to my collection and complete right now, I think it would be the Musketeer promos. And the reason why I say that is if you notice the symbol at the bottom of them, again, we talked about how you have common, legendary, enchanted, and everything in between. Of course, those logos, those rarity logos at the bottom of the cards represent the convention that you were able to pick this card up. However, Lorcana has also come out and made it slightly teased that they might start to use their official promo logo going forward for all promos. And we're going to talk about that promo a little bit later on, that rarity logo. It's kind of like 2 triangles that's like sideways, something like that. We'll talk about what those look like and what is to come with those down the road. But if this is the case and Lorcana starts to shift more towards those, that specific promo logo, that is going to make these cards all the more rare and all the more coveted to pick up, because again, you'll be getting something that is essentially a one of one. The next Gen Con, the next Gamescom, I don't know, will they have the double triangle logo on them, or will it still be the convention logo on there? I'm not sure, but if they do shift, if Lorcana does shift to that double triangle that they're kind of moving towards for their promotional logo, again, that is going to make these cards all the more coveted. And again, right now you can pick them up and complete the set for probably around $300, maybe a little bit less. So for me, for my money, this is fantastic bang for your buck if you're looking to complete a promotional set going forward. All right, so next let's talk about the Disney 100th Anniversary Collector promo cards. These were in a sealed set of the special edition box of Rise of the Floodborn, where within that box you got 5 Rise of the Floodborn packs, and then you got the 6 promotional cards. These cards are essentially alternate artworks to cards that were put out in the first, I believe the first set of Lorcana, the first chapter. I don't think there's any Rise of the Floodborn alternate arts in there, but there might be. But certainly between Elsa, Maui, Mickey, These are ones that I believe were all from the first chapter. So you're getting essentially an alternate art, full art, that has sort of a different logo down there, that Disney 100th anniversary logo on there. So the biggest thing I would say from a pro standpoint for picking these up is, unlike the D23 Expo promo cards, where yes, they came in a sealed box, that box is almost impossible to find these days in terms of being able to pick up the entire set sealed. And even if you do find it, it's going to go for something stratospheric because, again, as we talked about earlier, individual sellers, like they know, the market knows what they have with things like that. So if you do find something like that, it's probably going to go for like, I mean, something stratospheric, like $10,000-$20,000, like just something crazy, right? Because again, you're getting all of them, you're getting them sealed. Whereas with these D100 or Disney 100th anniversary promo cards, to be able to pick up this box right now sealed, I believe right now, the last I saw, it's going for about $60, $70. I realized that it originally came out for retail, I think for around $120, something like that, and it has dipped in price since then. And whenever a set or a card or any type of investment in collectibles, or really just anything in any type of investing does that, we all have a tendency to think to ourselves, oh, this is going down in price, and because of that, I don't know that I want it, right? The market's saying that we don't want this card, right? And then when something is going up in price, everybody says, wow, like this is amazing, like this is the time. Everybody agrees that this is the investment to get in on. I want to get in on this right now. Let's buy this right now. When actually in reality, we should be thinking the opposite of that, right? With these D100 cards going down, the special edition set going down, this is actually a fantastic time to be picking up these boxes for your collection. You're buying them at a dip. You're buying them at probably the lowest point, especially going forward. I do realize that these were printed a lot heavier than anybody thought that they would have been printed. I think I saw something crazy for pre-sales, like they were going of upwards of $1,000, which, by the way, it's not this type of video, but don't ever buy pre-sales on TCG or eBay or anything like that. They just want you to buy something that you want, that you can't have right now, for more money than what it actually is going to end up going for. So just try to show patience with that, and that'll be the best bang for your buck. But with this special edition set now going for about $60, I recommend picking up multiple of these boxes. I would say that you will still have some time, as opposed to the con promos, the Musketeer promos. This time, next year, if Lorcana does use their double triangle logo for those specific con promos, the market is going to be a little bit more aware of what's going on there. So I think your window is a little bit more short term for those, if you want to be able to pick those up now. But at the same time, for the Disney 100th anniversary, you probably have more of a short to medium term time frame. And when I say short to medium term, short term being like 1 year, medium term being like 3 to 5 years, you have time. But why not pick them up right now, especially if you have the budget to do so? And I highly recommend picking up more than one box. And the reason I say that is because long term, you might want to open up a box for the promos to be able to put them in your binder, grade them, whatever you want to do with the individual cards, but you might want to be able to actually hold them in your hand, right? But then also you might want to keep one box sealed to know that you've preserved the authenticity of the packaging. You have near mint promos inside. Just a very nice collector's piece going forward, has that Disney 100 logo on it. So I highly recommend picking up more than one of those if you can. All right, guys, so the final promo cards that I want to talk about are the event promos, or league promos is I think the specific name for this certain type of card. So this is, as we've teased already, the sideways double triangle logo, that is rarity logo, that's at the bottom of the card. These are typically given out at specific individual LGSs. If you participate in Lorcana leagues, anything like that, they'll give you a specific packaging sort of promoting the newest set. So like, for instance, with Rise of the Floodborn, they had, the first one that's coming to mind that I know of is like the Rapunzel. It's the exact same artwork that would be in the actual Rise of the Floodborn set. The only difference is that one of them is going to have the normal common or uncommon, I forget which one, I believe it's uncommon for Rapunzel, and then the promotional card is going to have the double triangle on it. Everything else is pretty much identical, exactly the same, but they are promo cards, which is very cool. I think within that set, you also get maybe like some sort of a scoring board and tokens and a couple of other things like that. But really the main driver for a collectability standpoint is the promos that are inside of there. Now, what's very interesting with these event or league promos is we actually just got word that there's going to be a Lorcana World Championships in 2025, early 2025, national events in holiday season of 2024. I believe those are scheduled to be in the US and in the UK. They haven't really announced anything else, or it might have been the US and Europe, but haven't really announced anything else besides that. They have not announced Worlds yet, but I would imagine that the World Championship will be in Europe just because Ravensburger is a European company. I believe they're based out of Germany, so I would be very surprised if it was anywhere outside of like Germany or maybe London, something like that. But I would assume that that's where that's going to be. The reason I say all of this is because we actually just got word that there is going to be an enchanted promo card, which is going to be Rockstar Stitch from the first chapter. So you're going to have Rockstar Stitch as a super rare from the first chapter, and you're also going to have Rockstar Stitch as a enchanted promo card that will be given out for winning regional events. And I believe, again, someone let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about this. I tried to do research on top 2 get this, top 4 get this. I believe top 4 get the card, and top 2 get the Rockstar Stitch playmat. It says champion on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful collector's item. But you get those for winning the regional events. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of card that will be given out for winning nationals, placing in nationals, and then placing in worlds. Cannot even imagine what that card or those cards are going to look like. I'm sure we will do a video on those when we hear more about those. I think we'll hear more about those in March of 2024. As of time of recording this, it's January 2024. So more to come on that. But if that is what they're going to do going forward for these, it's a great idea from both a game player standpoint and a collectability standpoint for Lorcana. If you notice the playmat, and I'll either throw the playmat up or I already have the playmat up for you, you'll notice on the bottom corner of the playmat that it says Into the Inklands on it. That would suggest, and it's possible that this has already been confirmed, I don't know that for sure, but I am just assuming that that means that for the next set that's going to be released in May, the next one after that, so on and so forth, they're going to have more enchanted promos like the Rockstar Stitch, and also more playmats with that promotional card on there as well. Because you will start to need to collect points to be able to qualify for nationals. Nationals is not going to be a type of thing where you can just sign up and go compete in it. You will have to qualify through regionals. So I'm imagining that they're going to have multiple regional events as it goes through, Q1 through Q4 of this year, with it ending in the holidays of 2024 in North America and Europe. And then again, like we said, the World Championships being early 2025, presumably in Europe. So that is going to be an amazing chase card. Don't even want to speculate on what the price of it will be to start with. My hunch, my assumption will be that it will be heavily overinflated to start, and then it will start to come back down to earth as more flood the market, the secondary markets, eBay, things like that, and then also as other enchanted promos come out. But just a beautiful card, beautiful idea, and once again, we see Lorcana taking the blueprint from other games such as Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! To create this two-tiered approach of respecting the game player first and foremost, which any good TCG should do, but also involving the collector as well, which is super exciting to see. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed today's content, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, interact with me. Let me know what Lorcana promos you're chasing right now, which ones you think are worth picking up right now, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out.